While my daughter was screaming through contractions and trying to bring my twin grandsons into this world, her husband was spraying champagne on the deck of a rented yacht, surrounded by 3 drunk buddies and nearly 20 young women in bikinis. I watched him laugh into the camera while my girl's heart rate spiked on the monitor beside me. Tell me, what would you have done in my place? Read this to the end and then tell me honestly, did I go too far or not nearly far enough? Your opinion matters more than his ever did. My name is Daniel Carter. I am 67 years old, a retired construction company owner from Florida, a widower, and a grandfather as of a very long, very dark night 6 months ago. My daughter's name is Emily. She is 30, strong-willed but too forgiving, and for reasons I still do not fully understand, she married a man named Tyler Hayes 4 years ago. This is the story of what he did while she was giving birth to his sons, and what I did to make sure he will never forget the price of that one night. Emily met Tyler at some corporate networking event in Miami. I remember watching them come in for Sunday dinner a month later, her in a simple blue dress, him in a suit that cost more than my first truck. He shook my hand with that firm, practiced grip men like him learned from books and seminars, not from work. White teeth, perfect hair, expensive watch. No calluses. "Mr. Carter, it's a pleasure," he said, glancing around my kitchen like he was appraising property. "Emily's told me a lot about you. Built your own company from nothing, right? Impressive." People like that always say impressive the way they might say old-fashioned. Still, Emily was glowing. She hadn't glowed like that since her mother died of breast cancer 9 years earlier. So I swallowed my instincts. I smiled. I asked him about his job in strategic marketing and pretended to understand what that actually meant. The warning signs were there from the start. He always forgot his wallet when we ate out. He volunteered Emily for everything: hosting, organizing, buying the nice things. And somehow his credit card never seemed to be the one on the counter at the end. When they got engaged, he made a point of telling her, in front of me, that his family wasn't really the wedding gift type, but they would make sure the guest list was appropriate to their social circle. I paid for the venue, the catering, her dress, and their first down payment on a townhouse. I did it because she was my only child, and because I remembered standing in front of a judge with my pockets almost empty, promising her dying mother that Emily would never want for anything. The night before their wedding, Tyler pulled me aside on the patio, away from the laughter and music. "I know you're doing a lot for Emily," he said, swilling some imported beer he kept mentioning by brand name, as if the label was the real guest of honor. "I'll make sure she's taken care of. You won't have to worry about her once I really get things rolling." "What exactly is it that you do, son?" I asked. He smiled. "I build brands, relationships, opportunities. You'll see." 4 years later, I had seen plenty. I saw Emily picking up extra freelance work while pregnant because Tyler's big deal was always just 1 month away. I saw the credit card statements when she came over to cry in my kitchen, the yacht club dinners, the networking retreats, the bar tabs that looked like rent payments. I saw him arrive late to her OBGYN appointments, phone glued to his hand, whispering, "This client could set us up for life, babe. I have to take this." I saw the way he flinched when the doctor said high-risk pregnancy and quietly mentioned that twins, her age, and some blood pressure issues meant there could be complications. The day Emily almost fainted in the grocery store, I drove her to the hospital myself. Tyler texted 40 minutes later. "Stuck with a client. You're with your dad. You're safe. I'll swing by later." He did not swing by later. When the doctor recommended Emily stop working in her 3rd trimester, I covered her lost income without a word. Tyler said it was humbling to have her father bail them out, then ordered a new set of golf clubs 2 weeks later. I tried to talk to Emily about him more than once. She would always do the same thing: wipe her eyes, straighten her shoulders, and say, "Dad, he's stressed. He's trying. It's just how his industry is. It'll get better when the twins arrive. Or it won't, I said once. She flinched like I'd slapped her. I didn't bring it up again. Then came the night of the twins' birth. It was a humid August evening, sky bruised with a coming storm. I was sitting in my living room reading glasses halfway down my nose when my phone rang. Emily's name lit up the screen. "Dad," she gasped when I answered, her voice raw. "My water broke. It's early. I'm scared." "Where's Tyler?" I was already grabbing my keys. At a meeting," she said, breath hitching. "He said he'd come straight here. Can you—" "I'm on my way," I said, and hung up before she could apologize for needing me. The roads were slick, the air thick, lightning flickering in the distance. I ran red lights I had no business running at my age. When I got to their townhouse, she was standing in the doorway, holding her belly with one hand and the doorframe with the other, sweat shining on her forehead. "No time," I said. "Hospital, now." We arrived at St. Augustine Memorial 15 minutes later. The nurses took one look at her chart and hustled us into a delivery room. Monitors beeped. An IV went in. Emily squeezed my hand so hard my fingers went numb. "Where is he?" she whispered between contractions. "He'll be here," I lied. An hour passed, then 2, then 3. Every so often she would ask, "Has he called?" And I would check my phone and shake my head. Maybe his battery died. Maybe he's driving. At 1:14 a.m., a young nurse named Jenna came in, holding a tablet. She had that way about her that some nurses do. Sweet, competent, and a little too honest. "Emily, your blood pressure's creeping up," she said, checking the screen. "We're keeping a close eye on it. Twins like to make a dramatic entrance." Emily tried to laugh, but it turned into a groan. Then Jenna's gaze flicked to my phone on the rolling table. I had it face up, just in case. She frowned. "Hey," she said quietly, lowering her voice. "Is your son-in-law named Tyler Hayes?" My stomach went cold. "Yes, why?" She bit her lip. "Maybe now isn't the time." Emily's eyes snapped open. "Time for what?" The nurse hesitated. I follow local accounts on Instagram. I thought he looked familiar at first, but I wasn't sure." She lifted her own phone, glanced at Emily, then at me. "Someone I follow just posted a story. He's tagged in it." "I want to see," Emily whispered. "Not now," I said sharply. "She's in labor." Her hand clawed for my wrist. "Dad, please. If he's on his way, I want to know." Jenna looked torn. She exhaled slowly, then showed me first, as if hoping I would be the wall that shielded my daughter. The video was grainy but clear enough. Nighttime on the water. A yacht deck crowded with bodies. 20, maybe more. Young women in tiny dresses and bikinis, squealing as champagne sprayed over their heads. Music thumped loud enough that I could almost feel it through the screen. The camera panned, laughing, until it landed on Tyler. He was shirtless, arms spread wide, a bottle in each hand, white teeth flashing. Behind him, a banner hung from the rail. "Welcome, baby Hayes." Someone had drawn 2 little baby bottles under the words. "Best way to celebrate becoming a dad," he shouted into the camera. 3 brothers, 20 ladies, and 1 long night. The caption under the video read, "When the dad-to-be knows how to do it right. #YachtLife, #no sleep, before twins." The story was time-stamped, 23 minutes ago. "Is he coming?" Emily asked, searching my face. My first instinct was to lie, to protect her while her body fought to bring his children into the world. But the rage that was building in my chest was different from any I had felt before. It was heavy and cold. "He's on a yacht," I said quietly. "There are a lot of people. A party." Her face changed in front of me. Hope drained out, leaving something harder. For a moment, I thought she might burst into tears. Instead, she clamped her jaw shut and turned her head toward the wall. Can I see? I don't think. Her nails dug into my wrist. Show me. So I did. She watched the 8-second video twice, said nothing. When the nurse offered to take the phone away, Emily just closed her eyes and whispered, "Let's get this over with." 4 hours later, at 5:23 a.m., my first grandson came into the world, red-faced and furious. At 5:31, his brother followed, smaller, with a faint little wail that made my throat close. Emily was pale and shaking, but alive. The doctor mentioned blood loss, pressure, and we're lucky we caught it in time. Tyler still had not arrived. He showed up at 9:47 a.m. I know the exact time because I took a photo of the clock on the wall the moment I smelled the alcohol on his breath and heard the faint echo of hangover in his voice. "Babe," he said, stumbling into the room with a grocery store bouquet and a smug smile. "I am so sorry. You would not believe the night I had. Client emergency. The marina was insane. The Uber canceled and then—" "Stop," Emily said. Her voice was thin but sharp. She lay in the hospital bed, one baby at each breast, hair plastered to her forehead, eyes ringed with shadows. "Just stop talking." He blinked, thrown off. I brought flowers. Jenna, the nurse, was in the corner, moving quietly, doing something with the IV. She did not look at him. "Did you close the deal?" Emily asked. "What?" "The deal," she said. "The one you were working on. On the yacht, with 3 guys and 20 girls." The color drained from his face. It was just a celebration. Pre-game, the client—" She laughed once. It was a horrible, broken sound. One of the babies startled. "Get out," she said. I said get out." He looked at me then, as if expecting me to intervene, to calm her, to be the reasonable old man who always smoothed things over. I let him see everything I was feeling in that moment. The night in the emergency room when Emily was 10 and broke her arm falling off the monkey bars. The mornings after chemo when my wife could barely lift her head and I still went to work so we could keep the lights on. The years of double shifts. The house I built with my own hands so that girl could feel safe. "You heard her," I said. "Out." He left, muttering something about everyone being over-dramatic. That should have been the end of it. It was not. For 3 days I stayed at the hospital. I brought Emily food she would actually eat. I walked the halls with the babies when they cried. Tyler came and went, always taking a call, always needing to step out for a minute. He posted a photo of himself holding one of the twins, captioned, "Grind never stops, but these little guys make it worth it." He never posted anything about the yacht. On the morning we brought Emily and the babies home, the sky was bright and the air smelled like rain that never came. I carried the car seats out to the truck. Tyler leaned against the hood, sunglasses on, checking something on his phone. "Hey, old man," he said, "about the other night. You gotta understand, this is how my clients roll. It's all about image. They expect that kind of thing. Boats, girls, celebration. It means they feel confident in me. That means money. That means a future for your grandkids." "I thought their future started with you being there when they were born," I said. He shrugged. "She doesn't really remember any of that later. Women get emotional. It'll blow over." "Will it?" "Of course. She's already calming down. You know how Emily is. If you stop feeding it, the drama dies." I tightened the straps on the car seat and said nothing. For a while he was right, on the surface. Emily was too tired to fight. The twins had feeding issues. One ended up back in the hospital with jaundice for a weekend. I watched my daughter stagger through the days, eyes half open, body still healing, hands busy with diapers and bottles and laundry. Tyler worked late. He always came home smelling like cologne that was not his, and occasionally not like his at all. He started to use my house more and more. "Dad," Emily would say over the phone, voice thick with tears, I can't do this alone. Can you come help with the boys? Of course I came. I changed diapers my fingers were too stiff for. I walked colicky babies around the living room until my back screamed. I cooked meals, washed bottles, fixed the leaking kitchen faucet because Tyler didn't really do that kind of thing. One afternoon, when the twins were 3 weeks old, Tyler came in while I was reassembling the stroller. You know, he said, leaning against the doorframe, we're thinking of moving. Something bigger, closer to the water, better neighborhood for the boys. Sounds expensive, I said. He smiled. Not if we do it smart. Emily told me about that little nest egg you built. The trust, the investments. You did well, Daniel. Really well. My finances are my business, I said calmly. But they won't be forever, he replied, tone light but eyes sharp. You're not getting younger. It's smart to think about legacy, consolidation. I can help with that. No, I said. He laughed like I'd told a joke. You don't even know what I'm proposing. I know enough, I said. You leave my accounts alone. You want to provide for your sons, you start by taking care of their mother. The rest will follow. He pushed off the frame. You know, sometimes you sound like you think this is still your family to run. It is my family, I said. You're the one who treated your son's birth like a bachelor party. His jaw clenched. For a moment something ugly flickered in his eyes. Then the smile was back. You'll come around, he said. Everyone does. He walked away, whistling some tune under his breath. That night I could not sleep. I sat at my kitchen table with a legal pad, writing down everything I had seen, everything I had heard, every gut feeling I had ignored since the day he shook my hand in my own home. I thought of my late wife Karen and the promise I had made at her bedside, that I would protect our daughter even when she no longer could. I decided that protecting Emily did not just mean picking up the pieces. It meant stopping the person who kept breaking her life in the first place. But before I could do anything, the universe handed me something else. And that is where everything changed. Here is the part you need to understand. The yacht party was not the real betrayal. It was only the trailer. The full film was still to come. The second week after the twins came home, Emily finally managed to nap. Both babies slept at the same time, a small miracle. Tyler had gone to a meeting. I stayed behind, tidying up. His laptop sat open on the dining table. I heard Karen's voice in my head. You do not snoop, Daniel. That is not how you raised her. But I am the one left, not her. And Emily's name was on too many credit cards already. I walked past the laptop once, twice. On the third pass, a notification slid onto the screen. Group chat. Legendary night. New message from Marcus Bro. That video of Emily screaming is insane. Send again. My heart stumbled. I stepped closer. The chat was open. I would like to say I hesitated. I did not. I read. Marcus. Can't believe you left the hospital, man. Savage. Tyler. Told you I can't handle all that blood and crying. Besides, priorities. Another friend, Aaron. Those twins better be grateful. Dad had to send them off with a proper send-off. Tyler. Relax. The old man was there holding her hand. Crazy thing is, that nurse actually DM'd me. Congrats. People eat this stuff up. Marcus. Send the clip again. The one where she finds out. Tyler. Hang on. There in the thread was the 8-second hospital video. Only now I noticed something I had not seen the night of the birth. At the end of the clip, after Emily looks at the yacht video and turns away, there is a moment where her face twists and she whispers, I hate him. Tyler had captioned it in the group chat, when she finds out you're celebrating the right way. My hand shook so much I almost closed the laptop. But there was more. Aaron. So what's the plan now, bro? Tyler. Same as always. Ride it out till the old man croaks. He's worth at least $1 million easy, maybe more. Em told me he sold that land in Jacksonville. Marcus. What about the trust? Tyler. Working on it. Just need him to co-sign on a family investment. Guy's old school, hates the market. Once I get access, we're set. Bigger house, boat that's actually ours, not some charter. Marcus. LOL, imagine if he finds out who paid for that party. Tyler. He won't. Emily used our joint card by mistake paying that high-risk OB bill. I moved the charge. Old man covered the hospital. My bonus covered the yacht. Circle of life. Another message popped in while I was still reading. Marcus. You gotta be careful, man. If she finds out about you and Kelsey, too. Tyler. She won't. She's too busy diapers and dad life to notice anything. Besides, even if she does, divorced or not, I'll get half of what she has when old man goes. Florida law, baby. I stood there, the room tilting around me. This was not just a selfish, immature man. This was someone who saw my daughter and my grandsons as line items on a balance sheet. You wanted a second hook in the middle of the story? Here it is. That was the moment I stopped being just a tired old grandfather trying to help and became something else entirely. I did not slam the laptop shut. I did not confront him that night or the night after. I did not tell Emily, not yet. Instead, I copied everything. I took photos of the screen with my phone, each message, each line, each emoji he'd sent at my daughter's expense. I found the Instagram accounts tagged in the yacht videos and saved the posts before anyone could think to delete them. The next morning, I made 3 calls. The first was to a lawyer, an old friend named Mark Holloway, who had helped me navigate permits and contracts back when my knees still worked the way I asked them to. I trusted Mark because I had seen him look a man twice his size in the eye and say calmly, "You either follow the regulations or you do not build at all." The second call was to a real estate agent. The third was to the manager of the very marina where Tyler and his friends had rented their night of legendary celebration. It turned out that the marina's owner, a quiet older woman named Carol, remembered me from the days when my crews had poured concrete for her first dock renovation. She told me something interesting. The yacht where Tyler had partied was currently for sale. By the end of the week, after a careful review of my finances and a long conversation with Karen's picture on the mantel, I did something Tyler never imagined the old man could afford. I bought it, not to play rich, not to impress anyone. I bought that yacht for one reason. It was the scene of the crime, and I intended to turn the scene of the crime into the stage for his downfall. Mark helped me quietly adjust some paperwork. The money I had once considered leaving outright to Emily became something else. A trust locked so tight not even Tyler's best syndicate could pry it open. Funds moved from accounts with both of their names to accounts in Emily's name only, with me as co-trustee. Nothing illegal, nothing dramatic, just signatures and clauses and a calm, professional voice saying, "Given the high-risk pregnancy and current stressors, it makes sense to provide some financial stability for your daughter and grandsons." Emily signed where Mark pointed, exhausted and grateful, thinking only of formula, diapers, and keeping the lights on. Tyler did not show up for that meeting. He could not get away from the office. He should have come. 2 months later, when the twins were finally sleeping a few hours at a time and Emily could walk without wincing, I suggested something. "We should celebrate properly," I said, bouncing one of the boys on my knee at my kitchen table. "A welcome to the world party for these two." She smiled faintly. "I don't have the energy for mopping up after people right now, Dad." "You will not have to," I said. "I'll host it. Neutral ground, beautiful view, my treat." Tyler perked up from where he sat scrolling his phone. "View? What kind of view?" "The water," I said. "I rented a yacht." His eyebrows shot up, then he smirked. "You? Rent a yacht?" "Why not?" I asked mildly. "I've worked hard, figured I could spend a little on my grandsons." He laughed. "Now you're talking. That's the spirit. I'll help coordinate. I know the right crowd. Needs to be big. Put them on the map. Invite who you like, I said. Family, friends, your colleagues. Just make sure everyone important to you is there. He clapped me on the shoulder. You won't regret this, old man. Best decision you ever made. In that one sentence, he was more right than he knew. The night of the party arrived on a clear October evening. The marina lights shimmered on the water. The yacht, now legally mine, though only the marina staff and my lawyer knew it, sat at the end of the dock, pristine, polished, waiting. We had it decorated tastefully, blue and white balloons, a banner that read "Welcome Elliot and James" in neat silver letters, tables with food, a quiet sound system for music, nothing wild, nothing crude. Emily wore a simple dress, her hair pulled back, dark circles still under her eyes, but a hint of peace in her expression as she held a baby carrier in each hand. Tyler arrived in a tailored shirt and loafers, chest puffed out, one arm around Emily for the photos, his hand always finding a way to display his watch. Behind him trailed his parents, sharp, judgmental people who had never bothered to hide that they considered Emily a bit plain and me a bit blue-collar, and a cluster of his friends, including Marcus and Aaron. Carol greeted guests at the dock, smiling. Tyler introduced me to his colleagues, calling me the old man who finally understands how we roll. We boarded. The engines hummed to life. The harbor slid away behind us as we headed out into the bay, lights becoming a glittering necklace along the shore. Tyler took over immediately. He played host, clinking glasses, calling for toasts. His father bragged about our son's bright future. His mother kissed the twins on the forehead like she had just discovered their existence. I waited. I watched. I made small talk. I let him relax. At one point, as the sun dipped below the horizon and orange light spilled across the water, Tyler came to stand beside me at the rail. "You did good, Daniel," he said, nodding at the scene. "This is how they should be welcomed. Big, bold. People will remember this." "Oh," I said softly. "I am counting on that." He chuckled and wandered back to the center of attention, drink in hand. Just after dark, when the food had been picked over and the babies dozed in their carriers under Emily's watchful eye, I cleared my throat and tapped my glass with a spoon. "May I have your attention for a moment?" I asked. People turned. Conversations dimmed. The music lowered. "First of all," I said, "thank you all for coming to celebrate my grandsons, Elliot and James. They are small now, but one day they will look back at photos of tonight and see who was here at the beginning." Emily smiled at me, eyes shining. Tyler draped an arm around her shoulders possessively. "There is something else I want to share," I went on. "A little video compilation I put together. A reminder of how these boys came into the world." I nodded at Carol's nephew, a quiet young man stationed by the yacht's flat-screen TV mounted near the bar. He queued up the file I had given him in a plain black folder labeled Welcome Video. The screen lit up. At first, it was what people expected. Photos of Emily as a child. A clip of her graduating college. A picture of her and Tyler on their wedding day, her smile radiant, his grin blinding. Then the images shifted. The hospital hallway. The monitor showing twin heartbeats. Emily's face contorted in pain, sweat slicked, eyes wild. "Dad, my water broke." Her voice echoed through the yacht's speakers. Several women put hands over their mouths. Emily stiffened. Then came the Instagram story. The grainy clip of the yacht party, the same deck we were standing on now, the camera panning, the bottles, the women, the Welcome Baby Hayes banner. Tyler, shirtless, shouting, "Best way to celebrate becoming a dad. 3 brothers, 20 ladies, and 1 long night." The sound was inescapable. His voice bounced off the metal, over the water, into every ear present. The room went very still. Tyler's arm slipped from Emily's shoulders. His face drained of color, then flushed. "Turn that off," he barked. That's not the right video." But the video did not turn off. The compilation moved on, to the group chat screenshots, to his message, "Ride it out till the old man croaks. He's worth at least $1 million easy, maybe more. Divorced or not, I'll get half of what she has when old man goes. Florida law, baby." Each line appeared on the screen in crisp, enlarged text. Underneath, in the corner, his name, his profile picture, the timestamps. Marcus choked on his drink. Aaron muttered something that sounded like a prayer. "This is taken out of context," Tyler said loudly, voice cracking. "Guys joke around. This is a violation of privacy." Emily stared at the screen, lips parted, eyes filling. When the message about using my money for a bigger boat appeared, she flinched as if struck. "Turn it off!" Tyler shouted again, lunging for the TV. Carol's nephew stepped back, remote already in his pocket. "Careful," I said. "That TV is mounted. You will only hurt yourself." He spun toward me. "What the hell is this, old man?" "This," I said quietly, "is the truth." Gasps rippled through the guests. His mother whispered, "Tyler?" in a small, horrified voice. "As of 3 weeks ago," I continued, speaking clearly over the rising murmur, "the funds you thought you would inherit are locked in a trust for my daughter and my grandsons. You will never touch a cent of it. As of yesterday, Emily has her own lawyer. The house you live in is in her name alone now, not yours. The debt from your yacht party, your bar tabs, your investments, those are yours." I took a breath. My chest felt strangely light. "And this yacht," I added, "is not rented. It is mine." Silence. Then someone dropped a glass. It shattered against the deck, echoing in the hush. "What do you mean it's yours?" Tyler's father croaked. "A while back, someone told me I wouldn't understand how you roll until I spent money on the right image," I said. "So I did. I bought the very yacht your son used to celebrate while my daughter's life and the lives of my grandsons were at risk." I let my gaze travel across the startled faces. "I decided if he wanted a boat to define his story, we would let it. Only now it defines a different story than he planned." Tyler lunged at me then, hand raised. He did not get far. Marcus and Aaron, those same friends who had cheered him on in the chat, grabbed his arms. Whether out of guilt, fear, or sheer self-preservation, I do not know. "Let go!" he shouted. "He's lying! Emily, baby! He's twisting things. You know your dad. He hates me. He's trying to ruin us." Emily stood slowly, one hand on the table to steady herself. Her cheeks were wet. She had not wept loud. She had simply broken, quietly, in the way strong people do when they finally understand something terrible they fought not to see. "Is it true?" she asked. Her voice shook. "Did you say those things?" "People joke," he said. "You know how guys talk." "Did you celebrate on a yacht while I was in labor?" He opened his mouth, closed it. "It was for us," he whispered. "For our future. I had to make an impression." "Did you plan to wait for my father to die to get his money? Emily, listen. Answer me." He looked at me then, as if begging me to step in, to smooth it over, to be the reasonable old man one last time. I stayed silent. The water slapped softly against the hull. Somewhere far away, someone laughed on another boat, oblivious. "Yes," he said finally, barely audible. "At first. But then it changed. I love you. You know that." She drew herself up, shoulders squaring despite the exhaustion etched into her bones. "You love you," she said. "You love boats and parties and what people think when they see you. You do not love me. You do not love our sons. Not in any way that matters." Please, let's talk about this at home," he said, darting quick, calculating glances at the staring guests. "This is not the place." "This is exactly the place," she replied. "You chose a yacht to humiliate me the night they were born. My father chose a yacht to show you who we really are." There was a hard, quiet pride in her words that made my throat burn. The party never recovered, of course. People drifted away in clusters, whispering. His parents left without saying goodbye to anyone. Marcus and Aaron slipped off like men abandoning a sinking ship. Emily asked Carol to have the captain turn the yacht back toward shore. She took the twins below deck to change them, her movements mechanical. Tyler stormed through the cabin, alternating between rage and wheedling. He accused me of manipulating his wife, of setting him up, of destroying the family. I let him rant. When he finally paused for breath, I handed him a plain envelope. "What's this?" he snapped. "Instructions," I said. "You will find a detailed list of accounts you no longer have access to, a move-out schedule, a visitation plan for the twins drafted by Emily's lawyer that you may accept or fight in court. I suggest you accept. You will also find copies of the screenshots and videos, in case you are tempted to paint a different picture for your own attorney." "You can't do this," he whispered. "You're an old man with money. That's it. You can't—" "I cannot change what you did," I interrupted. "I cannot erase that video. I cannot erase the way you left my daughter alone in a hospital room so you could feel important on a rented deck. I cannot erase the way you reduced my life's work to a $sign with my death at the end of it." I stepped closer, close enough to smell the faint, stale scent of last night's cologne under the fresh one he had put on for the party. "But I can decide who benefits from my work," I said quietly. "And I can decide that the man who laughed about riding it out till the old man croaks will not ride anything built by these hands." His lip curled. "You think you won? You think she'll thank you for this when she's alone with 2 screaming babies and no husband?" "She was already alone," I said. "The only difference now is that you will not be draining her as she learns to accept it." He left the yacht that night with an overnight bag and nothing else. His parents refused to take him in until this drama settles. His friends stopped answering his calls when the screenshots began circulating quietly through their own circles. Their wives and girlfriends had strong opinions about men who celebrated births that way. The divorce is not final yet. These things take time. He is fighting, of course. Men like him always do. He is trying to paint himself as a victim, a husband undermined by a controlling father-in-law. But the court tends to care more about evidence than stories. And I have plenty of evidence. Emily is not okay. Not yet. Some nights she calls me at 2 a.m. sobbing, both boys screaming in the background, saying she cannot do this. I always answer. I always go. I bring formula, clean onesies, my aching arms, and old lullabies. Sometimes she apologizes, says, "I'm sorry, Dad. You should not have to do this at your age." And I say, I would rather be here now, tired and needed, than sitting in a quiet house knowing I let him keep hurting you. Last week, she looked at me over a bottle and asked, "Do you think you went too far with that yacht thing?" I thought about it. About the video. About the way everyone stared. About his mother's hand over her mouth. His father's shoulders sagging. His own face when he realized the boat he had used for his big night now belonged to the man he had called a walking inheritance. "No," I said honestly. "I think I finally went far enough." So now I am asking you, as someone on the outside, who did not spend decades building calluses and bank accounts only to be reduced to a punchline in a group chat. Was I right to expose him in front of everyone and cut him off from everything, or did I go too far for one night on a yacht while my daughter was giving birth to twins?
My grandpa's words really happened. I believe him. If you want more true tales like this, hit subscribe.